Folks, welcome to what I am calling Weber Rework Hotfix number 1. And why is that, you ask? Well, because I fully anticipate some other mini reworks of the actual rework, if you know what I mean. And heck, this update already falls under that thought, I believe, as it looks to change up nurse spiders themselves, alter a spider's manners, and even offer yet another quality of life mechanic to Weber's Switcherdoodles, mind you. That said, Clay may have still missed something very obvious with them, so yeah. Whatever the case, we're here to talk about the changes, so let's get to it. And there is simply no way that we don't begin with the biggest changes here. Nurse spiders now healing Weber. Each individual nurse spider can heal Weber for 8 health each, it seems, which ain't great when you say it out loud. But work towards amassing a group of them, and I get the early sense that things are going to get stupid, everybody. Stupidly awesome, that is. I only have 4. Count 'em, 4 nurse spiders here, along with some of the worst armor in Don't Starve history. And while I'm a little worse for wear, yes, I'm alive through no other thing but healing from the spiders. And that's the point. Start to add more and more to the group, and the occasional influx of healing begins to just be too much for even the big bads to truly counter at the end of the day, because let's face it, sometimes they attack a little slow now and then. Seriously though, I merely doubled the nurses to 8, which is not even close to unreasonable, and I finished this fight with just under 100 health, with no help from anything else besides my brethren. 8 spiders, folks. 8, and no other healing. Oh yeah, the potential is real. And while I will look to film a specific video on that potential, I just want to see just how ridiculous things could be right off the bat. All I did was double my numbers again, which is still not that far-fetched given how simple a nurse Switcherdoodle is to create, mind you. And not only is my group of spiders here able to fully heal me back up to snuff no matter how many hits I take in a volley, they are also just adding to the DPS at the end of the day. Heck, maybe I've been trying too hard to make unique spider teams, when all I should be doing is getting spitters and nurses to work together for Pete's sake. A quote-unquote free dump of 128 plus potential health every few seconds? I mean, who wouldn't take that? Again, more to come from all this another day, I think. Otherwise, this video is going to turn into something entirely different. Another big change to discuss here will be how spiders can be made to not destroy walls for the first time since, well, forever. Now, we have all been there. We have tried or wanted to pen in spiders, only for them to somehow chew through stone walls, yet still refuse to help us resource gather at the end of the day. And it's bloody annoying. Well, annoying no longer, as both loyal and pacified spiders will no longer attack any walls of any sort, if you know how to pacify them, that is. But use a now HD looking den decorating kit, and not only will the spiders of that decorated den be pacified, of course, many nearby ones will be as well, and all of them incapable of targeting walls nowadays. So you want to make some friendly yet terrifying spooder petting zoos? Now you can. Enjoy them. But yeah, while we are here on the topic of pacifying spiders, mind you, Clay has also made it to where we can now feed a non-loyal spider a Switcherdoodle to have it become automatically loyal without having to feed it a meat as well. Now that is obviously a very welcome change. However, there is a slight oversight. For you see, they also made it to where we can feed Switcherdoodles to spiders when they are in our inventories. However, doing so this way will not make spiders loyal to us, so that's a complete waste. I fully expect this to change eventually, folks, so keep that in mind. But speaking of feeding spiders from within our inventories, we can do exactly that now, folks. Like feeding rabbits and or bees, this is just all about prolonging an inventory spider's life, of course, which could actually be useful in all sorts of ways. For one thing, long trips from the ruins with dangling death dwellers in your inventory may not actually end in tragedy now. Feeding them through the inventory now makes them loyal as one would expect. If you forget that you have a spider even in your inventory, you can always just get them right back up to snuff with ease without worry. But ultimately, it is the fact that spiders now benefit from the positive effects of food. Therefore, we have yet another way to heal them on the go. So do with all this information as you please. And the same will go for this next bit of information, as on paper it sounds like a simple fix for a very real but funny possibility, when in reality it brings an interesting discussion to the table. So here's the deal. Spider queens were still able to spawn from tier 3 dens even when we were sleeping in them. However, that is no longer the case. Again, pretty straightforward. But what's actually happening is that we are stopping the growth timer of said dens in their entirety, just like how we can decorate them to do the same. And at first this all seemed reasonable, up until I stood around for a while, waiting for that pause timer to actually end, only to find that it didn't end. Well, not until roughly 2 full days later, that is. In short, one teensy tiny change like this just gave us yet another option in potentially controlling spider and spider queen populations. And it's all because we wanted a lovely silky snooze. Have fun. But one last mention before we wrap up here. There will be no more crashes caused by any of you trying to decorate other dens out there in the world because we were never even supposed to in the first place. So sorry, friends. And the only reason I brought this up and highlighted it was because so many, and I do mean so many, experienced this crash, I guess. So I wanted to bring the fix front and center. And with that, there you have it, everyone. A teensy tiny list of changes to the Weber rework that made some not so teensy tiny changes to the Weber rework, if you know what I mean. Now, there's still some jank, but that's to be fully expected. And I still anticipate even more changes to come following today. Be them out of want or need, I believe there's actually room for them, honestly. Perhaps Clay will switch some Switcherdoodle crafts or even the numbers that we get from crafting them. Maybe they will tweak the spider AI during combat, most notably the spitters, as they're supposed to be ranged for Pete's sake. Or maybe they'll even change how we can mass befriend spiders themselves, just to make things a little easier to bite down on, if you know what I mean. I don't know. But I do think our next order of business is kind of looking to push spiders to their limits, at least the nurse ones. So expect something soon there, I believe. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. Continue to let the silk flow. And I'll see ya in the next one. Bye-bye.